Alright, fellas, it's that time again. So, the spring banner has been announced and the trailer's up. There will be a link to the trailer in the description if you haven't seen it yet, so you can go ahead and check that out. Shoutouts, of course, to Nintendo Mobile for providing that for us. Okay, so we're not really going to beat around the bush too much, we're just going to hop right in. It is a Fire Emblem 6 themed banner, which is great for me because Fire Emblem 6 is actually my favorite Game Boy Advance Fire Emblem game of all three of them. And to be honest, I would say most people agree that the Game Boy Advance Fire Emblem games have the best attack animations and the best critical hit animations. So if you've started playing in the 3DS era with Awakening, or you just never played the GBA games, you should definitely check them out because those games are rad. Alright, so let's just start talking about the units. I'm going to talk about their skills and break them down one by one. So we're going to start things off with Est. She is a flying blue tome unit. Her weapon is Eagle's Egg. It's got 14 might, 2 range, and it says here grants attack up 3. And then if unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants all stats plus 5 to unit, and neutralizes unit's penalties during combat. Okay, that's a really good weapon. Already it just reminds me of Brunya's weapon, pretty much. Doing basically the same thing with an even easier requirement to meet. Or I would say, I guess, just about as easy, since Brunya's requirement is pretty much gonna be just as easy as this. But of course, Est has the advantage of being a flyer, and flying mobility is just way too good. So, yeah, Est just basically looks like a flying Brunya so far. Moonbow as the special attack, not much to say about that. Fury 4 in the A slot, very nice, and with all stats plus 5 from the weapon, she's going to be stat stacking really high here. And now we come to the B slot, and we've got something real interesting here. It's a duo chill skill, chill attack and res 2, and at the start of the turn, it's going to do attack and res -5 on the foe on the enemy's team, with the highest attack and res total through their next action. So that reminds me a bit of the gap skills in the C slot, where it's basically the combined total of 2 stats. Whichever unit has the highest in that regard is going to get +5 to both of those stats. So this is really just the opposite of the gap skills, and it is nice to see a duo chill skill. And finally, she's got Hone Flyers. So Est is looking like a pretty good contender for your flying blue mage. She's got a really nice starting kit. And of course, this means we now have the full trio of the original Pegasus Knights in bunny form, so shoutouts to that. Alright, moving on to Fear next. She is a flying axe unit. Her weapon is Bun Bun Baton. It's got 16 might, and it's effective against armor types. Accelerates special trigger, so cooldown count -1. Effective against armors, like we said. Neutralizes effects that guarantee foes follow-up attacks, and effects that prevent units' follow-up attacks during combat. Okay, man, they're just giving absolutely everyone and their mama null follow-up at this point, right? Any offensive unit that has come out within the past, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months now has pretty much had null follow-up in some way, shape, or form. So I'm expecting Fear to have a ton of speed, a ton of attack, and just pretty much be built to destroy every wary fighter armor unit in her path. Harsh Command Plus in the assist slot, very nice. It is, in my opinion, the best assist skill. Of course, not counting stuff like Future Vision or To Change Fate. She's got Attack and Speed Solo 3 in the A slot, very good. And Air Orders 3, also very good. Really nice for Aether Raid defense setups and allowing units to jump around and make your teams that much more unpredictable. And of course, with Harsh Command Plus, that's going to be even better. So Fear is looking pretty good, and it's a much needed upgrade from the Fear that we had in the game. Of course, she's just a sword unit, and there's way too many sword units right now for her to really stand out being a day 1 unit. So it's nice that Fear got some love on this banner. Alright, so next up we've got Narcian. He's a lance flyer, and just looking at his skills, I can already tell you guys, he's going to be the 4-star summon. They already did this on the Valentia Love Abounds banner, where we had Conrad, I think it was, debut as a 4-star and a 5-star. So it looks like they're doing that with Narcian as well. I mean, come on, they gave this poor guy Lance Experience 3. Like, come on, man. That's so dirty. Like, at the very least, give the poor man a Valor skill so you can grind SP. But I digress. His weapon is the Guilt Fork Plus, and if unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack and defense up 5 to unit, and neutralizes penalties to attack and defense during combat. Alright, so it's sort of similar to the Eagle's Egg, except it's not as omni-powerful since you're not getting +5 to all stats and ignoring all penalties. But maybe that would have been a little too good for an inheritable weapon like this. And certainly considering that he's going to be the 4-star by the looks of things, I guess they didn't want to go too overboard with that. So his special attack is Vengeance, same old stuff that he had as the Grand Hero Battle Prize. Chill Speed in the B slot, which is not too shabby for a 4-star summon, and Lance XP 3. RIP Narcian, they couldn't even give this guy a Valor skill. So yeah, there's not much else to say about that. And finally, our surprise duo pair-up for this banner is going to be Idunn and Fae. A very adorable pair-up. They're like 2 peas in a pod, if you ask me. They're just big scary dragon and cute fluffy dragon. So they make a really nice pair. They are a Red Breath armored unit. So basically the same type as the OG Idunn. Weapon is Zephyr Breath, and it's 16 might and effective against armors. And it grants Res up 3. And if a bonus granted by a skill like Rally or Hone is active on the unit, or if unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, neutralizes unit's penalties and inflicts attack -6 on the foe during combat. And foe cannot make a follow-up attack. And it also has adaptive damage, so she can target the lower of the foe's defense or res if they are a ranged opponent. So this weapon is really stacked. It's pretty much doing the same thing, or at least similar things, as Idunn's original weapon, where she can neutralize all her penalties, and then instead of gaining stats like the old Idunn did, this one is granting -6 attack to the foes, so she's going to be even tankier when she baits them, and nulling their follow-up attack as well is really nice. Of course, though, we've seen on Fur on this exact same banner that they just put null follow-up on every unit now, so even though she has a built-in Wary Fighter effect here, I don't know if that's really going to be good enough to save her in high-speed matchups anymore, but it is nice to see. She has Iceberg as the special attack, and in the A slot, we've got a new Duo Stance skill. This one is Sturdy Stance, so you're getting attack and defense up 6, while also inflicting guard on the foes when they initiate combat. So a very great skill. I mean, these Duo Stance skills are always going to be solid. Really nice for baiting opponents, and inflicting guard is one of the best defensive things you can do to an opponent. She's got Vengeful Fighter 3 as well in the B slot. And finally, Gold Dragons in the C slot, which is nice to see on another unit. It's a really rare skill, even though, of course, Ward Dragons is a little better, since dragon units tend to be more bait-oriented than offense. And for the Duo skill, it's really hard to tell since they don't actually tell you what the Duo skills do in the trailer. But from what I can gather, it looks like her Duo skill actually provides protection effective against armor and dragon types. So if the foes are going to attack you with, say, Armor Smasher or Falchion or something like that, you can use the Duo skill, and presumably for one turn, you're just going to have protection against that. So this is really nice, and you guys already know how much I hate Legendary Crom. They did way too much with that guy, and giving him effective against armors was just the big middle finger to everybody playing in Arena, pretty much. So this Idunn being able to protect units from effective against dragon and armor class attributes is really good. Like, that's no joke. I can't stress that enough, how powerful that's going to be for baiting, and even in Aether Raid's offense. Like, Thrasir is one of the toughest threats to deal with, and a lot of that is thanks to the fact that she's effective against dragons. So if you can remove that from her kit and then put like Adult Tiki in front of her at +10, then you're going to be able to beat her via color advantage at that point. So that's pretty nice, and even just having one copy of this Idunn is going to be helpful. So that wraps it up for the units that they showcased. And we also, of course, got the Tempest Trial reveal. It's going to be Bartrey, to no one's surprise. We all saw that silhouette, and we saw that mustache, and we knew, oh man, there's only one dude who's that big, that burly, and that manly. So it's got to be Bartrey, of course. And I'm looking forward to this. It looks like a really nice batch of units. And I'm, of course, looking forward to the Tempest Trials as well. So that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. And this is your boy Tacho signing out. So I'll catch you guys again next time.